Tuesday night, work is done, can't go out, loo roll's gone, kettle's on, put your kettle on, pencils out, news is off, got take out, spend all night with good friends, best friends, life drawing till the end. Get your sketchbooks out, everybody's drawing, that's what it's about. Quarantine is boring, get your sketchbooks out, lock down life drawing. Ooh! Ow. Get your sketchbooks out, everybody's drawing, that's what it's about.
It's what it's about.
Quarantine is boring.
Quite boring.
Get your sketchbooks out.
I got my sketchbook out.
Lock down life drawing. Hello, welcome to the stream, everyone. I had such fun last week with you, traveling the world, drawing all them fantastic costumes. It was brilliant. Loved looking through and seeing all the experimentation and all the fun that was being had. So brilliant. This week we're going to be tackling hands. Not everyone's favourite thing to draw on the figure, I guess, but nothing to be afraid of. We're going to go at it and break it down. And by the end of this night, hopefully we'll be a little bit more confident and enjoy drawing hands. So yeah. They're not scary, don't worry. Oh yeah, so if you enjoyed the stream this evening, please hit like and consider subscribing. And yeah, let's have a look at the schedule. Hey. Right. Hand envelope challenge, right? As always, I've got a little challenge for you and a warm up. So yeah, that's going to get us quickly. We're going to draw 10 hands really quick. Then basic forms of the hand. So we're running through, breaking down the hand, and we're going to try and do some sketches as I run through it and memorize that. Then we're going to find the forms. Okay, so similar to the week where we did boxes and form, similar to that, we're going to be finding these forms on the hand. And you know, we're not creating a masterpiece. We're just tackling the problem. All right, and we're going to do a pose, which has got some hands in it, but also sort of a full figure. We're going to take a tea break. Then, awesome artist spotlight this week. I'm so happy that we could welcome Arlene Diehl to the stream. She's a leading figurative artist from San Francisco, and her work is full of movement. It's full of energy. It's amazing. So she's given us some comments and she's shared with us a little bit about her process. So I'm really looking forward to share that with you and check out some of her artwork. Oh, there's a little preview. Awesome stuff. Absolutely phenomenal. A real master at what she does. And most of these images that we're going to show have got hands as well. So thank you, Arlene, for being on topic. And then after that, we're going to jump into some more poses featuring hands, 5-minute one and a couple of 10-minute ones as well, hopefully inspired by Arlene's work. And then we'll get to see your work at the end. So I really hope you enjoy, and let's get to it. Get your sketchbooks out. Let's do this. So, hand envelope challenge. What do I mean by that? Right, envelope. So this is kind of an envelope, isn't it? Like a jiffy thing. I mean, basically we're going to make these hands into mittens. Okay, so the word envelope, imagine the hand in an envelope, and then you're going to fold around the edges so that it follows the shape of the hand. Okay, so there's no detail whatsoever. It's just straight lines or a little bit of curved lines, and you're simplifying the shape that the hand's creating. Okay, so I'll show you the overlay for these first ones. There you go. So you see, no more than sort of 5 or 6 lines for each hand, and we're just getting that outline, getting that negative space in. Okay, and this is a really great way to start drawing hands, and it can be used in a full drawing as well, just to suggest the hand. You know, you don't always have to put in all the detail. Right, so grab your pencil. Let's do this. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to envelope the hands. Here we go. Here we go. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Right, this one up here. So nice straight, confident lines. Let's just warm up. Something like that. Number 1. And don't bother putting in the space between the fingers, just the whole shape that you can see. That's it. So some curved lines, some straight lines. Try and think back to when we were doing flow, rhythm. Get some quality, confident lines there. Okay, a little bit behind. Here we go. We've got a minute left. And get that shape that the fingers there create, that nice arc shape. Okay. Last one. Got a great wrist here. There we go, and that arc again for the fingers. Right, few minutes to spare. Brilliant, well done everyone. So hopefully you ended up with something like that. Have a little check, see if you're accurate. So I was a little bit wider on this one. Yeah, I think we're okay for that. So we're going to do this again. A little bit more challenging, these hands. So I'll give you another 2 minutes and try and get these envelopes, these mittens going again. Here we go. Let's discover these shapes. So I think what can be done is, you know, we imagine we know what the hands look like, and we start putting on fingers and all sorts, and actually this silhouette sort of shape is much more important than any of that for just giving that first impression on say a quick figure drawing or anything. So we can use this as kind of like a bounding box for the rest of the hand. If we want to, you know, we can come back to it and add more detail. Start to work out the structure. So hopefully your lines are coming a bit more confident now. Look at this one, this is difficult. So get that arc of the fingers, side of the hand. Cool. These warm-ups are quick, aren't they? Great. Great stuff. Okay, there we go. We've got some envelopes, we've got some shapes. Brilliant. Well done, everyone. So hopefully we've got something along them lines. Just, I always find, you know, we want to get good at estimating ratios and measurements and things. So if you have like an overlay like that, or you have the reference and you find something's wrong, not wrong, but you know, perhaps wider or taller than you wanted it, just remember that. And because we find that we, you know, fall victim to the same types of mistakes. So I think today I'm going to try and make things a little bit thinner than I imagined them to be, and perhaps that will help me out. Cool. Well done, everyone. Great. We've done the warm up, so we've got loosened up. Now let's go into finding the forms of the hand, and we're going to take it step by step. We're going to start with 2D simple shapes. I'm going to take you through it. Let's do it. Okay, so you might want to take notes. Take a few notes as we do this. I'll try and go through at a good pace, and if you've got any questions, let me know in the chat. Brilliant. Okay, so we've got the hand. That's my hand. And the first thing, really the most important thing, is this block sort of shape for the palm. Okay, if we get this right, this area, the hand and the position of the hand and the gesture is normally a lot easier. Okay, so it's really important that we get this main trunk right. Okay, similar to how we would get the torso right in the figure and then move on. This is what it's all about. So this box, I've got a little trick for this box. It's a little bit larger towards the thumb. Okay, so if we have a go at drawing this, it's sort of angled up towards where the thumb is. Have a go at drawing that shape. Slightly drunken pizza box or something, isn't it? Notes in writing or drawing, whichever works for you. So you could have a little bit of handwritten notes, or you could be purely visual. I'm very visual, so I'm gonna write, make visual notes. Cool. Okay, so the box of the hand, and really important that this side towards the thumb is the largest part. Now, let's curve it off. If you see, the hand is actually curved at the top here at the knuckles. Okay, and it kind of goes up, peaks not in the center, but a little bit off to the side. Okay, so let's try and put that curve on to this box. Something like that. All right, so we've got the box, we've worked that out, and now we're getting that curve. Curve of the knuckles. Okay. What's next? Free planes. Brilliant. Okay, so I was watching a brilliant tutorial actually, and discovered the free planes, and it really makes sense once you once this little bit clicked in the video. So I'll try and share that with you. Let's imagine the surface of this hand, okay, broken up into these free planes. 1, 2, and 3. Now, can you see, perhaps if I curve my hand, this area meets this area and it's sloping downwards, all right? And then this is probably the top of the hand. And then we've got this triangle area here for the thumb. So we can add onto the box now this triangle area for the thumb and break up that top plane. Okay, so it's going like this, and then like this. So three quite clear planes there on the hand. So let's have a go at that. Just put the planes on. Okay, 3 planes, what's next? Right, box of the wrist. Okay, so just as important as the hand is the wrist. Okay, really, really important that we get the wrist right. And look how it really is quite a box shape. You know, it's quite rectangular. So we must note the wrist down. Let's put that on there. So we're working 2D at the moment, so we can't see any sort of the sides of the boxes, but let's put that down. Now about the wrist, you'll notice, have a look at your own hand. On the pinky side here, you've got this bone poking out. It's called the ulna. Okay, it's quite worth taking note of that. So here, the ulna crops up a lot in drawings and references. And on the other side, it's the radius, I believe. It's a little bit less pointy out, but good to know. So radius. Good points of the wrist to think about when we're drawing. Anchor points. Right, what's next? Arc of the tips of the fingers. So we were doing a little bit of this earlier on, and it's finding that arc, right? That with one line can we connect all of the fingers together. Okay, so whatever position the hand reference is going to be in, can you make this flow and make this rhythm, unite all the fingers together? Because actually, if you take your hand, you look, it always seems to make this arc shape. It's always making this lovely arc. So that's the next thing. We're going to note that down before we draw any fingers at all. Now, there's a good measurement to know from the middle of the hand to the tips of the fingers, and from the middle of the hand to the bottom of the palm. Okay, that's halfway. So there you go. So whatever your middle is here, you can assess where the longest finger is going to be. Okay, and that's halfway. Does that make sense? Cool. Do these a little bit darker for you. I've got it on the screen. Okay, so once we put in the arc, I kept calling it arch, but it's arc, isn't it? Once we've got in the arc, then we can tackle the fingers. We can go in there and do these fingers. So I want you to think of them as cylinders. You can either think of them as boxes or cylinders. So choose, I guess, which works for you. But I like cylinders because you can then make them cylinders quite easily into boxes later. So let's have a go at putting on some fingers. And we're stopping at where the arc is. The arc, sorry. Okay, just rough outline. Pay attention at where the knuckles, where the fingers are entering the hands. All right, some areas you're going to have a wider gap. Okay, now I've got a sort of general guide there, but now I want to make them feel like cylinders. I want to make them feel really round. So actually, we can start the fingers like this, and it's not like a. If we're looking at a cylinder from above, it almost looks like a rectangle, but because there's webbing on our hands, this first joint here, you can actually see it's at an angle. Okay, so we can put that joint on, and then the knuckles we can make arcs for as well, just to kind of line them up, and just put a little bit of a indication that, hey, this is a curved surface wrapping around a cylinder, right? We're wrapping around that cylinder. and you can use the knuckles and the wrinkles there to help show that. See. So we're just making them look a bit more 3D, a bit more cylindrical. Maybe that knuckle's a little bit further down. Okay, there we go, there's the fingers. Next we've got to tackle the thumb. So we've already got that triangular plane on this side of the hand, which is the starting off our thumb. So that's great, and we can, from that, we can do a cylinder for that first part of the first part of the thumb. And then the end of the thumb, it's like a strange kind of triangular shape. It's a bit like a trowel or something like that. So think, all right, not cylinder, but think sort of triangular, odd shape. And really, you know, I think really observe the shape of the thumb. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay, so there's our hand. Few more bits to look out for. A few things to look out for, quite useful. Fleshy area here. Okay, grab your hand. I'll show you the one without the writing on. Fleshy area here. Can you see that that's making like a little bulge? So some positions of the hand will really accentuate that bulge, and it's really useful to keep an eye on that. All right, so remember this fleshy area. It's almost like a teardrop shape in between the forefinger and the thumb. Okay, then also remember, as I mentioned earlier, that ulna. Okay, that's gonna poke out and really be a key point at this point and here as well. And last thing on this one, the fingers are going to get wider at the knuckles. So I don't know if you want to have a little go at that now, just make the knuckles a little bit wider, or just note that down next to your drawing. But it's good to know the knuckles, you see they're sort of pushing out, and it gets a little bit thinner, it's wider, thinner, wider, thinner. Okay, so the knuckles are always going to make the fingers wider. Cool. Now let's look at the front of the hand. Okay, so front of the hand, I'm not going to take you through the whole process again. Similar, very similar. But of course, the box that we started off with will be going the other way on this example, wouldn't it? Because we're always going to, that tall corner is always going to face the thumb. Okay, so yeah, measurement. So I don't know if you've ever realized this, but your fingers look longer on the back of your hand and shorter on the front of your hand. It's kind of it's a bit trippy once you realize that. They look a bit like sausages there, and they look like fingers there. So what that is actually, it's the webbing in between our fingers that's causing that. Can you see the hand on this side, it looks like the hand's finishing earlier, and on the back side, sorry, the front of the hand, we've got this webbing that's bringing that palm up. So that's something to be careful of, and know that measurement won't work for the front of the hand, for the palm. So keep that in mind. It's going to be a little bit larger. And some things to look out for. So there's palm muscles. Okay, give your hand a little squeeze. You've got like a tear shape here and a tear shape here. These muscles really important, really key for hand drawing. Look at that. Okay, so really remember them, palm muscles. I'm not sure what they're called. And the hand also looks a little bit like a donut. Okay, you've got this area in the middle that is sort of caved in. So you've got this kind of a little bit of a donut shape to the hand. So it's good to think about the palm as a donut as well. And I think final few things, when you're drawing, just note that the fingers are branching outwards from the hand. Okay, when the fingers are straight, they're branching outwards, and when we close our hand, the fingers then branch inwards. Okay, so a few things there to note: outwards and inwards. Cool. Right, I hope you found that useful, and you've got a little section of notes. We'll use that as our blueprint going forwards. Now we're going to try and apply this to some hands, and I've been tricky. I've put these hands, at some 3/4 angles, and we've got some good lighting on them. So we're going to be needed to be imagining that form now. So let's give it a go. Right. There we go. So imagining the form. So can you think of them steps now? I'm going to give you 5 minutes. We're going to do 3 of these poses, 3 hand poses, and we're just going to try and find them blocks on the form. Okay, it might help. I'm going to draw along with you. It might help to see what I'm doing, but also please, tackle it yourself. Remember, we're pushing our limitations. We're going for it. Okay. So 5 minutes. Let's have a go. So we could start with the palm box first of all. Okay, let's get that on. Okay, so larger towards the thumb. Now let's put the curve on. And we've got to think about it in 3D. So actually the hand's coming down like this. Okay. What's the wrist doing? So the wrist actually sits just above the hand and it steps down onto the hand. So we can draw the wrist a little bit of a wider block. Okay, and then the wrist is going to step down onto the hand like that. Okay, let's note the ulna there. You see we've got these turning edges of the boxes here, and we've got some clear light to help us show that. Okay. So we've got the wrist, we've got the hand. Now let's put on that arc for the fingers. So we can start here. Oh, I missed the planes, didn't I? Put on the planes. I've got this lovely triangle plane coming down on the side here. Now I'll put that arc for the fingers on. Okay, it's roughly halfway, but we've got a little bit of foreshortening perhaps, so we're going to be shortening them fingers just slightly. Okay, now we're putting on the cylinders. So let's think of where they're going to attach. Cylinders for the fingers. Okay, and I think it's sometimes good to start with the forefinger or the middle finger. Let's give it a go. And we can use quite light lines first of all until we're little bit surer of what we're drawing. And these fingers, they're pointing away from us, so we can use these curves to show the form quite nicely. Okay, imagine like rubber bands wrapping around these fingers. I think I've been a bit zealous with their sort of length. Bring it in a little bit. Okay. Got another minute. No pressure. Right, and we start to find the right sort of proportions, the right shapes. Cylinder for the thumb here. And that strange sort of trowel shape. And I think with the end of fingers, you can make them more angular than perhaps they look, just to avoid that sausage finger effect. Okay, so just sharpen the end of the fingers up. And right, I'm gonna just take a few stronger lines. Gonna put on that turning edge of the hand here. Remember that bulge. And last few moments. Turning edges. I'm just going to quickly put a little bit of shadow in. Just what we've just finished, but I just want to put a little bit of shadow just to show this edge turning away. I think I've done my wrist a little bit too wide. That's okay, we can come in and bring that closer. Okay, and thinking about here, these shadow, if I wanted to render this more, I'd really think about the shadow side of them playing on the fingers. Okay, this really, we can really show the form and that kind of 3D effect. So I hope that's helped. I hope you had a good go at the structure here. Let's do another one. I've got a few more poses. Here we go. Let's follow that same process. Here we go. So starting with that box for the palm, but this time we're on the inside of the hand. So here we go. It's kind of twisting a little bit. And remember, okay, this point is towards the thumb, so this is going to be higher than this point. Not higher, but larger. Give it a go. Okay, it might seem difficult, but it will come together. Okay, here we go. So, curve that box. We can see perhaps this edge here. I want to get it 3D looking. And then, so we're curving it. Let's get the rubber. Made a bit of a mess of that. Now, let's put on the planes, or the wrist. Planes are on the back of the hand, so we can kind of imagine them, but we can put on this triangle for the thumb coming down. There we go. Now let's imagine the wrist. So we're always going to see a little bit more of the side of the wrist because it's a little bit more rectangular. There we go. Now let's think of these points, these fleshy parts of the hand. Okay, so teardrop shape, and here as well, teardrop shape. Let's put on the fingers, that arc of the fingers. Where's it going? So let's follow the outside. Something like that. And perhaps we can do another one that follows the tips of the fingers there. Let's start doing some cylinders. Thinking about where the fingers connect. This one's really sort of a block shape, isn't it? So maybe we can put that on. Oh, I did start the timer. Very sorry. Right, I'll give you, what should we have, another minute, number 2 minutes? Let's think about the cylinders. What direction are they facing? This one sort of coming into the palm. So a few lines now to kind of tighten up the hand, make that wrist a little bit thinner, perhaps. Don't want to go too long on this, sorry guys. We'll stop very soon. So I think these fingers are a little bit too high perhaps. I'm going to leave them where they are though and learn from it, and just put on these turning edges where this shadow is along the hand and the shadow in the palm there. And quickly, before the end, put on the thumb. There we have it. So, something like that. Start to feel the form. Start to feel how them simple shapes are instructing this 3D kind of assembly. move on to the last one. So kind of, I think perhaps the palm should have come up a little bit more here, and that would have made the fingers look a little bit more chunky. But yeah. Just going to grab some more paper. Let's just take a look how we've got all the same elements from the initial sketch, the initial plan, into that final hand drawing. Okay, so sorry I didn't start the timer properly on that one, but we'll do it properly on the third one. Got a nice fist pose here, so we got quite a lot different. Real challenge for this one. So what we got to think is a block. Okay, the fist is a big block, and perhaps we can still use the tools from earlier, but really thinking of that there's angular and kind of square blocks, and really pay attention to these shadow shapes that are being created by the light hitting those, not hitting the side of the fingers there. So good. Glad everyone's drawing along. It is one of these things, it will take practice, but now you've got some of these tools, these landmarks of the hand, really going to come in useful. And actually, when we're doing like a full figure drawing or normal types of drawing, we're not going to be doing everything as we were in that construction, but we'll have a better understanding of it, and that understanding will inform our decisions when we're doing like kind of like a quick abbreviation or something of the hand. Okay, so let's have a go at this. 5 minutes, deep breath. Whew. Let's do it. Starting the timer this time. Right. Block. So quite a challenge. I'm just going to go in for the block shape here first. Really making it up as I go along now, because it's so different to that structure. It's all there, but it's arranged so differently, isn't it? So I'm really trying to think of it as a cube. These fingers are looking very squared and angular. Remember guys, we're not making fine art here, this is an exercise, and we're allowed to make mistakes, we're allowed to challenge ourselves. You might find that the figure drawings later on, you can actually, just come with a little bit more confidence into drawing the hands. Right, so the block of the wrist there, look, boom. And let's think about these shapes. Okay, so it's actually opposite. It's this way, isn't it? Big tear shape here, big shape here. Okay, let's put them on. Be aware of them. That's going to inform our lines. Right, I feel like this needs to come across. Where's my rubber? Bring this across a little bit. Okay, so the thumb. Going to make these a little bit skinnier. Do you remember earlier on I was doing things too wide? I think I've done the same here, so just being aware of that. The thumb's going to start about there. A few more minutes left. I think I need to make these fingers a little bit taller to make room for the thumb. Bring this part of the hand down a little bit so I can fit it all in. I think it would have helped if I'd done that enveloping at the beginning. And you'll see later on when we do the figure studies, we definitely start with that envelope and then just add in little suggestions of form. Okay. These fingers are coming up a bit more here. "30 seconds, oh blimey. Let's put in some shadow. Once we've got that structure, it's lovely to just go around and put in a few accent lines and just sort of a little bit more observational, a little bit more subtlety in the lines. Cool, and something like that. I wish we had a bit more time. But no. Better leave it there. Okay. Well done, everyone. We did it. 3 hands there, finding the structure. Well done. Really, really good. Now, let's do a longer pose. Let's do a longer pose. I've got 15 minutes on this pose. Okay, I found this great image. It's a bit figurative, but it's also got some quite intricate hands on it. Okay, so we can pay quite a lot of attention to that if you want to, and try and work out the structure of them hands. Perhaps just how can we, yeah, like the shadow sides of the fingers are really quite poignant there. So maybe we can focus on them. So 15 minutes to try and put this in action now. And then we'll take a tea break. Welcome, Jack. Welcome to the stream. Brilliant. Okay, here we go. 15 minutes. I think I'm going to use a charcoal for this one. Right. Need to move it up the page. So measuring a few heads down. Just going to finish about there. Okay. Just putting on some lines. A little bit of measuring and things to get us started. Working with straight lines. Looking at some ratios, okay, width of the head. How far out does that hair come? What are the angles that I could see? Maybe I put too much hair on. Just make note of that. Cool. Shoulders. I just want to block in some things and then look at the structure of them hands and try and make that a bit of a feature. Just a bit of scribbling really. I like to scribble with charcoal because you can sort of rub it all out and just use whatever you put down as a guide. There's the wrist. So I think this side is a bit too wide. Oh, I forgot to mention, guys, don't forget to send your work in. I'd love to see your studies and your larger pieces as well. Send them in to jakebustle.art@gmail.com and share on Instagram @jakebustle.art, and you can use the hashtag #LockdownLifeDrawing. If you email your pictures in, we'll get to see them at the end and have a look at your work on stream. Right, let's rub this out a bit. Now I want to have fun with the hands. Now I know where things sort of should be. Got them planes. The ulna there. So I'm choosing the right side of the fingers as the shadow side, I think. I'm going to start with them, and hopefully we won't need to put on the other side of the fingers, because that shadow side will be descriptive enough. Let's loosen up a bit, have some fun. Got a negative space between the fingers. Just putting the darks in, trying to find what's important and what's not. Okay, we've got 5 minutes left. I think I'm thinking quite small with the hands. I need to see the overall picture now. Got the clavicle there, collarbones. got some good shadow on it. Just as we're thinking about the planes of the hands, we can think of the planes of the head. All just planes interlocking and joining. Another minute left. I'm going to grab a charcoal pencil and come in and fix some values. Pick out a few points of interest. Just make sure them hands are making sense. Looking a bit straight there and muddled, isn't it? But, If we tighten it up a little bit, might work. Oh, that's time. I never give you guys enough time, do I? Well, next week we're doing long poses. We're looking at long poses in accuracy, so we'll have plenty of time next week. But yeah, let me know how you got on. Send your work in. Let's go for a little tea break. And yeah, I'll see you see you before long. So when we come back, it's Arlene Diehl, absolutely incredible artist. I cannot wait to show you, and we're going to have 3 more poses. So I'll see you after the break. Where's the break? Where's the break? There we go. See you in a bit. Tuesday night, work is done, can't go out, loo roll's gone, kettle's on, put your kettle on, pencils out, news is off, got take out, spend all night with good friends, best friends, life drawing till the end, the bitter end. Get your sketchbooks out, everybody's drawing, that's what it's about. Quarantine is boring, get your sketchbooks out, lock down life drawing. Ooh. Ow. Get your sketchbooks out, Everybody's drawing. That's what it's about.
It's what it's about.
Quarantine is boring.
Quite boring.
Get your sketchbooks out.
I got my sketchbook out.
Lockdown live drawing. Hey everyone, we're back. Whew. Well-deserved break, I think. Well done, everyone. Not easy this week. Not easy this week at all. But we, really, really pleased that you're sort of going at it with some energy and yeah, I can't wait to see these drawings. So make sure you send them in. Arlene's work is going to get you fired up. This is going to be brilliant. So grab that cup of tea and let's watch. Okay, let's watch this bit. And when we come back from the spotlight, 3 more poses and we can get some real good inspiration from Arlene. Let's do this. Okay, so thank you, Arlene, for being the spotlight this week. Incredible work. We've seen these at the beginning. Just lovely movement, lovely gesture, everything. Let's have a look at Arlene's artist statement. I think it really sums her work up and her approach so well. So Arlene says, my work has evolved from a lifelong love for, fascination with, and a sense of reverence for the human form. I've also been deeply committed over the years to the process of drawing, finding in it time and time again an emotional and visceral immediacy that has served my deeper purposes. I'm working now exclusively with live models and with a great deal of speed. I like working with a living, breathing human being because by definition, the subject is not static. A subject is not a static one, but a dynamic one. Moment by moment in a process of change. My aim is to transmit something of the power of that dynamism to the viewer. Wow. This process requires of me a very deep letting off the brakes of any preconceived notions that I may have had for the drawing. By responding freshly to a particular moment, the work can move in many different directions, sometimes more abstractly, sometimes more representationally. My best work often includes elements of both and can be further layered with a sense of transition, emotional nuance, and some measure of mystery. Wow, I love that statement. Okay, so I love this idea of just letting go, letting go of these preconceived ideas and in that magic, in that moment of the drawing process, let that inspiration come to you and let that focus. Wow. Let's have a look. I've got a little gallery of that's artists. So here we go. This is a little gallery of Arlene's work. Incredible. So much there and so much described so quickly, accurately, but with gesture. Look at the flow. Look at that kind of bean shape of the body and the leg there. Just incredible. I think Arlene uses compressed charcoal and a bit of vine charcoal as well. I love the hair. I love the way the top of the head isn't suggested, and even we've got one hand shown, and just the wrist and the bottom of the other hand. The lights get. It's almost as if there's a bit of glare there, and we don't need to know that the hand's there. That would have perhaps led our eye away from the figure. This is absolutely beautiful. So really nice composition. Let's have a look at some more. Look at that. Incredible. Beautiful use of negative space there with the hair. And look at the way the arm just disappears into almost nothing. Just a suggested line. And then bam, it's caught again with the hand, and I even love the way it's right at the edge of the paper. You know, there's some sort of tension there, isn't there? It's like, incredible. Really strong use of tone, and I love this kind of the markings on the paper that are getting left. Candy says her favourite guest artist so far, although they've all been amazing. They really have. I think I agree with you, Candy. This is absolutely wonderful stuff. And look here, we've got again them gestural rhythmic lines that are suggesting connecting of forms, and then the way the end of the foot there is just suggestive of a few little lines. These hands, you can feel them like curving and the expression in them. Really lovely. Another one with quite a lot kind of not missing but suggested, and I did ask Arlene about how she chooses her focal points, and Arlene says this: in relation to focal points, the process is visceral, fluid, intuitive, and more than anything, responsive to the pose, to the model, to the moment, to the developing drawing. So it's this talk of, I love that being just responsive to what's in front of you, and the process. Here's another one, absolutely beautiful. Arlene goes on to say, what is most exciting to you about what you're seeing? What is essential to expressing that? Where does the drawing want you to go? I love that, having a conversation with the drawing. Really, really lovely. It will have its own voice. Pay attention and allow yourself to go there. So maybe, pushing it where you're uncomfortable, or pushing it, somewhere you didn't expect at the beginning of the drawing. Let's have a look at another one. Amazing. Arlene says, don't be slavish about rendering everything. Chances are good that in so doing, you will spend a lot of time on non-essentials. Your deepest and clearest response will get lost or buried, and the life of the drawing will be imperiled. Less is more. We can really see that in these sketches, can't we? That less is definitely more there. Look at that. Half of that face not drawn, and the head and the leg, but it's saying so much more to us that the fact there's less. Amazing. I also asked Arlene if she had any tips on hands, and she did. So in the case of hands, it's indeed critical that you practice drawing hands and everything else until it becomes more native and intuitive to you, and this makes it possible to abbreviate them, yet still express what you're after. So exactly, we're not going to spend 5-10 minutes drawing out a structure of a hand in these incredible fast poses, but knowing that structure, knowing a little bit of the fleshy parts of the hand, to see that fleshy part being shown in the hand up to the right there, and knowing where the knuckles are, and these turning edges and these blocks of planes of shadow. Really, really important to have these in mind when we're sketching. Look at that, incredible. And Arlene says, the drawings I've included are examples of hands playing an important part, or playing an important expressive role, and were so essential. Whether fully rendered or barely implied. In another moment, another pose, the hands might not be essential at all. So to draw them would be to risk losing or clouding over the very thing that you were moved by and want to express. So I like that. I really like that. Though we're looking at hands this week, if you're not moved by the hands in a pose, don't draw them. Perhaps you could just put in that envelope shape, or perhaps you could, one line or nothing, you know. So let's, I just wanted to say on this one, look at that, the forearm there. I would have, if I was drawing this, I would have straight away put in that forearm, the line for the forearm. But look how ingenious that is, where the line has been, there's been a lost edge, okay, and that line has been lost there, and it's blending into the shadow, because Arlene's realised she didn't need to put that line down. Okay, less is more, only what's essential. So grouping values like that, grouping dark tones, is a really good way to do that. Let's have a look at a few more. Sky says she loves the balance, or they say they love the balance of white space. I totally agree. And I love the smudges on the page as well. It's just like, yeah, that's not important. Well, you know, it's nothing standing in the way of me and my expression. You know, they add to it 100%. That's the human, that's the drawing element. You know, this isn't a photograph. Very, very brave. There we go. There's the beginning one. And let's have another look. So we've got links to Arlene's Facebook, Instagram, and a Flickr account where Arlene's got work for sale. I really suggest you go into the description and check out that, check out them links. Give Arlene a follow. She's beautiful, and you know, her work's beautiful and really, really inspiring. And yeah, the gallery of the works for sale as well is incredible. We're not allowed to show some of Arlene's best works because they have, you know, breasts and bums and things, and we're not allowed to show them, unfortunately, on the live stream. But if you go to that link, you'll see the whole array of her work, and it's breathtaking. So I hope you enjoyed that. Now we've got 3 more poses. Let's use this energy. Let's do this, right? What was it? Fluid, intuitive, responsive. Okay, so we're going to look at these pictures, these references, and we're going to make a almost, you know, natural, almost intuitive response on the paper. Okay, so put the technical side of the hand drawing to one side, keep it there, but let's do this response. Let's do it. Okay, here's one. So 5 minutes for this one, quite a short pose, and quite a lot of gesture, quite a lot of movement. And I really liked what was these shadow shapes and with the hands. So whatever draws your eye here or your interest, go for it. Okay, so 5 minutes. Let's do this. I think I'm going to use charcoal pencil for this quick one. So a lot of direct drawing with Arlene's work. A lot just drawing straight on. And really brave, wasn't it? Really brave work, and kind of just that reaction. So if a line goes wrong, don't worry about it. Just, there's no wrong, is there? Nothing. And perhaps not drawing everything. I really like that. I'm going to try and keep that as part of my practice going forwards. You know, draw what's necessary, draw what's emotive, perhaps, to really cut down on the useless kind of lines. So this is a bit further down, I believe. So I want to say a big thank you to Arlene for her generosity in sharing her work with us. She really is a modern master, and an absolute pleasure to spotlight her work on the stream. Please follow her on socials and check out that Flickr account, definitely. Right. Love them little shapes, just implied by the shadow there. So we've done the learning part. Now we can have the fun. Oh, perhaps I didn't need that line. Add a bit more mess. Okay, we've got 40 seconds left. So what were you moved by, and is that present in your drawing? Okay, and if it's not, how can you rescue it? How can you put it in? I think I was moved by this hair and the hands reaching up. That's it, that's time. Well done, everyone. Hey. Hope you had a nice response to that first image. I think, yeah, I saw more power, I saw more contrast. So let's have another go. Let's next pose, 10 minutes. Right, a little bit more delicate, this one, and we've got the two featured hands, so I don't want to say too much. You take it in whichever way you feel. Okay. Started the timer. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to start with the charcoal. I think this time. try and be a bit more gestural, a bit more rhythm. Going to take a few lines for a walk. This line on the back of the hand there. Remember, less is more. How can you describe with less lines, with less on the page? I love that shadow hitting the arm there. What lines can you get rid of? What's not necessary? What really is necessary? What needs to be there? What is your emotional response? And this subtlety of the back here, and then connecting up with the other hand. I'm going to come back and add a little bit more definition to that hand, I think. Right, I'm going to try not to draw this part of the hand. I'm going to let that flow into the fabric below. Okay, so perhaps adjust it just here. I want to get that core shadow on this arm. Right, let's come in bold now. what is essential. Always, if you're ever lost with a drawing, go back to the darks. Try and make sense of the darks, and they will always lead you the right way. Three more minutes. Hope you're enjoying this one. I think what's happening here? I think I need to show the end of this hand. It feels like this dress is becoming the hand, so let's try and show the end of it. Perhaps the putty rubber to pick out these fingers. Okay, that's time. How did you get on? Don't forget to send your work in so we can view it at the end of the stream. We've got one more drawing. So yeah, I wasn't quite sure about this hand. Perhaps just that bit of shadow and soften it. Yeah, but I feel like I got something of the the flow of the hands there, and I was really trying not to draw too much. But maybe I have. You be the judge. Okay, next one. We've got another 10 minutes. And a guy this time. Quite an extreme pose. Quite a lot going on there, but a lot of movement. And I felt like it was quite an Arlene pose, quite extreme. You know, the model wouldn't be able to hold that for long before the drawing is done. So let's give it a go. 10 minutes. Let's go for it. So got this line of action sort of flowing through the figure. I'm going to try and start with the torso. And work quickly. So I'm kind of letting the pencil roll over the form that I can see, and also describe the transition between light and dark. So that contrast, I've got that spotlight from above. Now I've got to be careful not to draw too much. I want to draw this elastic, I think. Suggestion of the fingers and knuckles and the thumb there. Perhaps that's enough. This ear didn't quite come out, I wanted it. Picking out a few muscles here and there. I think I'm going to make less of the feet. Maybe put, I don't know, I think I've lost room on the page. I would really love to put the sole of the foot there. Let's give it a little measure. So yeah, I've lost the foot off the end of the page. So unfortunately, I'm not going to attempt that. Get a few of these lines wrapping around to indicate form. Maybe just suggest a few more of the folds further into the leg, but not much else, I don't think. Don't want to become sort of outlining. Okay, just leave that alone. Get some of this folding here, get that wrapping. Think of the bean scrunching and having that fold there. The arm's a bit too far over, isn't it? But maybe we can bring the torso this way a little bit. His hands are also a little bit longer than that. Don't want to do too much correcting, just stick with what I've got. It's an impression. Cool. I'll put a bit of tone in here. Using the blending stump to play around with these shadows just a little bit. I do want some of the texture of the vine as well. I haven't got any compressed charcoal, just using vine charcoal. Okay, perhaps for a few value changes and a bit of, if I can find any core shadows, that sort of thing. It's a fun way to work because it's, you just, you know, it's not like, oh, I need to get here, I need to get here. It's just, yeah, this is an impression. My impression, you know? Doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, does it? It's great. Very freeing. Very kind of, very nice way to work. Right, I can see the head here. I want it to be more of a globe. and then taper in towards the neck. Bring that ear in. Cool. How's everyone getting on? Come on, Laura. You can do it. Stick with it. Remember, it's just an impression. It's whatever you want it to be. And you've got your sketchbook out. You've you've given yourself that chance. Cool. I think I'm quite happy with this. I don't want it to go too much further. Well done, everyone. Please send your work in. I really want to see it. I can't wait. I'll try and, I think, yeah, this part of the back just needs to come in a bit. And pinch at the waist. Something like that. I just wasn't happy with that before. Okay. Well done, everyone. Well done. There's mine. Got this stretch. Perhaps his arm should have been a bit longer. But I'm happy that I didn't draw everything. That's always my challenge, I think. I'm always wanting to, go all over the. So I think that's a brilliant lesson from today. Just to, we don't need to only draw what's important. So I hope you enjoyed. Now it's my favourite part. We get to look at your work, and yeah, here we go. Let's see if we can load some up. So let me have a go. So this is from last week. Let me see if Max has been squirreling away and got some of the emails. Just want to say thanks to Max for helping out behind the scenes with the stream. I couldn't do it without him. He's a brilliant brother. Okay, here we go. Looks like we've got a couple of folders. Oh, wow. Oh, yes. Okay, really strong. Really well understood forms. Really nice. I can see you've followed the steps. This is on the left there. You've got that that kind of the one that we did together. That what's it called? The note-taking one, and then the other poses as well. And you've really transformed that into 3D, really nicely. So well done. No name on that one. Ah, look at this. Wonderful. Is that a mix of pen and charcoal? I love it. So you've really used that as a chance to understand the hands. And look at that. We had a really interesting kind of bend on the wrist, and you've really captured that. And I love the design of her. I love her face. I love the style. So really well done. Really nice. She had a really cool haircut, didn't she? Yeah. Max is the best. He really is. Well done. Fantastic drawing. James, love it. Oh, these are great studies. I can see the cogs turn. I can see this. You're really working it out, and it's great. Really good. I think just keep going. Keep trying to work out that structure, and you're getting there, James. This is fantastic. This is really good. I love that fist. It looks so square and strong. Really nice. Well done, James. Lydia's got some strong hands. Look at that. Look at that. Really can see the cylinders and the fingers. Can see the considered shapes and that block for the hand. I really love it. And Lydia has got something else as well. She's got this. If you look on the left-hand side, she's got the straight tops to the fingers and curved bottoms. Okay, and I don't know if I mentioned that, but that's a really good little thing. Have straight tops to your fingers and curved bottoms, and that's another good thing to think of. Lydia, this is wonderful. I love your sketchy marks and that shading, especially on that fist. It's got some energy, hasn't it? It's lovely. You've paid attention to the ulna, and the wrist. Brilliant. Oh, lovely. Is this Debbie? Deb? Brilliant pen marks. That was a tough pose, and that's really nice. That's really nice. You know, and especially with pen, to do such intricate hands and the face and everything. I think that's really well done. Really nice, Debbie. Or Deb. Envelope hands. Oh, great. I thought we were going to get to see some of these. Fantastic. Well done, Laura. Hope that helped in some way, you know, thinking of them envelope abstraction. So, yeah, next time, you know, you're a life drawing class, just block in them envelope shapes or them mitten shapes for the hands. Really nice. Looks like we could make some kind of abstract art out of this, couldn't we? We can make, I sort of see a fish, dory, or I see like a, you know, we could colour them in, couldn't we, and make something. Love it. Oh, lovely. Okay, great charcoal study here. I can see you've really paid attention to the face and the proportions there, and you've thought about the structure of the hands. So really well done. I like it a lot. And the clavicle, the collarbones are just suggested. Really nice. Another good one. Another charcoal study. Started to bring some tone in there. Got a little bit of tone underneath the neck. Tone on the bottom of the arms, bottom of the hand, just to help reinforce that block shape. Really nice. They're really nice hands. Really, really well done. Especially the one sort of the higher one, and the wrist on the lower one as well. Well done. Is that hennas? Fantastic. Love it. Oh, you've even got the little like henna mark on the forehead there with on the model. Fantastic. Really well thought about with the fist, and you've got a good square a shape there on the wrist, where the wrist and them what are they called? What did I call them? The flabby parts, or the muscle parts of the hand. Really lovely wrist line there, and square shape to the fist. Nick, love this. Love this. That swimsuit. Is it a swimsuit? I've forgotten what they're called. Leotard. There we go. The leotard. It was so striking, wasn't it? And you've gone for that. You've got these vertical, these lovely flowing lines, and the knees and everything just suggested, just put in there. I love it. And you're really showing off your pencils there. There's some good pencils. Some General's charcoal. Fantastic. Well done, Nick. Really good. Ian, love it with the charcoal. Love them smudges and that simplification of the tones, simplification of the pose. It's beautiful. This has got that kind of sereneness to it that reference had, and more. You know, it's got that human element that you've added. I love the softness of the fabric, and then the contrast and the darks on the hands and the shadow of the hands and the hair. Really, really nicely done. Another striking one. Love this pose. That's fantastic. Really nicely observed there with the face, just picking out the shadows cast by their facial features with little, you know, just a little bit of line. Really nice. Very easy to overdo a face, and you haven't at all. Love that block in of the leotard, I think. Love it. And yeah, I can just see the hands coming in there, and they've got that kind of they had a sharp texture to them, a sharp feel. So well done with that too. Cheryl with the fist, brilliant shadow shapes. Love it. That feels blocky, doesn't it? That feels like it's coming out of the page, which is exactly what we were aiming for. And you've got some lovely little expressive folds in the skin. Really, 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 really cool. Hope you enjoyed that, Cheryl. Well done. Okay, that's the end of the first gallery. Let's have a little look and see if we can load up another gallery before we go. Let's have a look. See how quickly Max has been reading the emails. Hey! I love it. Brilliant sketch by Candy. Love them thighs and the knees there. Or that knee. Really, really cool. Definitely. I think Arlene has had an amazing effect on us all. It's really, her work, it's incredible, and it's really coming across, and you've put your own spin on it. I love the shading there in the middle, and just a few little touches of the sort of smudgy finger on the wrist, you know, underneath the neck, just a little bit on the leg, just where it is necessary. So really quite restrained, but expressive, you know, fluid. Love it. Very, very, very good. Lucy says, Candy, this is superb. I agree. Absolutely wonderful. Ah, great one by Laura. That's a really nice approach. I was going with it with kind of sort of curved lines, and Laura's gone with it with this, you know, this quite straight angular hatching, and I love it. This is what it's all about, you know. Then the massive difference in our approaches, whatever your, you know, your emotional responses, what your intuitive responses to the image, it's coming across. I really like it. Really like it. It's really nice. And I love your mixed media too. Poppy, well done. Such a good page. Oh my God. Got them all on one page. Look at the guy with the stretching. It's like that leg is really coming towards us, and the arms and everything's going away. I love it. Got some great folds there in the trousers. Really well done. I like as well the you know, using the background to your advantage. Very much like that first pose in the middle with the leotard. Made a lovely rendering of the hair and that motion, and the one on the right there, beautifully done. It's got like a subtlety about it, right? You know, like the reference had, didn't it? It's whereas on the left there you've got this kind of almost, you know, it's kind of masculine, and it's like quite an industrial kind of textured background and quite expressive dark lines, and then on the right hand side you've got that kind of serene, you know, calmer approach. So I can really see your emotional and intuitive response coming across. So really nice. Another lovely one with the hands. Got that donut of the of the hair, the bun. Love it. That's a good sketch. Got that shadow, that kind of cup, that shadow cup in the hand, on the lower hand. Really well done. No name on this one, but fantastic job. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Who's this? Cheryl again. Wonderful. Wonderful. I love what you've done with the dress. Just sort of, you know, I don't know if she's trying to put it up or she's taking it off. I don't know, but the way that dress is like flowing away from the body, really, really nice. And you've used sort of subtle lines with a angular shading. I love, like, you know, the suggestion of the folds on the bottom half, and that kind of just letting that line go loose up at the bottom of the page. I think it's well observed. I think the shoulders and the arm there, both arms, really nice, really nice. Well done, Cheryl. It was a hard pose. It was very difficult. Ori, wonderful. So good to have you joining the stream. I love this. This has got you've got some of the structural elements in here as well, like that line on the neck. It's really giving me a feeling of like that three-dimensional space on the figure. It's coming out of the page, and that's really difficult to achieve. So well done. Yeah, this is a great sketch. Nicely proportioned. Yeah, really nice. Well done, Rhett. Great little selection here. Rod. Love it. You guys have done so well this week. This is brilliant. Look at that. I love the hips on that lady at the front. The contrast that you've used on the right and up at the top. And that's what I really wanted to get, that bottom of the foot blocked in, that shape. I was imagining that, drawn at the bottom of the page, but I ran out of space. So Rod, you've done it. I love it. Well done. Really well done. He's really stretching that, isn't he? That gym equipment. I can't read the name on this one. I'm really sorry. Rachel, maybe. This is cool. I like this. You've chosen. You've kind of left the darks, haven't you? Used them quite sparingly and really drawn attention to the hands. Wonderful work. Oh, there's more. So what we've got. I can't read that one. I'm sorry. Again, lovely proportions. Some of the lines, not as stated as the others, which is really cool. Really nicely picked that up from Arlene's work. And yeah, I think you're. I think that's lovely. I think that's a real good interpretation. Little bits of shadow, little bits, lovely sort of varied line work. Brilliant. We've got loads of images this week. This is brilliant. Is that Colin? Colin, love this sketch. It's boom. That's the pose, isn't it? Love it. It's got energy. Look at this one. Amvi. Is it Amvi? Can't read the name. I'm sorry. Annie. Is it Annie? It might be Annie. Annie. I love it. Great. I really enjoyed that pose. The muscular back. Isn't it so interesting? And watching that spine come down, and you've got good flow. So remember, we were talking about a few weeks ago. We were talking about rhythm and there being concave and convex, and you've got that on the arms there, and little subtle variations on the side of the body where the muscles and different bones are poking out. Really nicely observed, and great arms, isn't it? Great gesture of that stretching band. Wow, look at this. I can't read the name again, I'm sorry. This is wonderful. So much dynamism, so much 3Dness. I love that box and the foot coming out of the box. It's stepping out into us, into the fourth dimension, isn't it? This is the third dimension. Wonderful work. Really delicate, and you've chosen where to use your harder lines in the shadow areas. It's very illustrative. It's very nice to look at. Very wonderful. And again, I can see a clear difference in your mindset from the one on the left to the masculine, more energetic one on the right. And it's really nice to see that difference in the drawing. That let yourself go a little bit. Let any preconceived ideas go and let the drawing speak to you. And yeah, really nice. And then look at them hands. You've used sort of like an envelope shape and then just added a little bit more to suggest the fingers and the different details. And it's wonderful. I can really feel the sense of the block of the wrist and the different parts of the anatomy. Really nice drawing. Yeah, brilliant work. And there's Candy's one again. So, whew, brilliant, guys. Absolutely loved it. Thank you so much for sending your work in. Keep sending it in if you haven't already, and we'll make sure it gets onto the stream next week. Next week, let's have a look. We've got accuracy tips. So we're looking at measuring. We're looking at, you know, if your drawings are a little bit out of proportion and you're having trouble, you know, really seeing the right proportions, we're going to look at accuracy tips and really nail them down and get that working, and use some kind of academic tools from art academies and things, and some other tips as well that are going to help that. And we'll be doing long poses, so a little bit longer, and really, you know, we can get into the meat of a drawing. Yeah, hopefully another artist spotlight. I've got a few on the cards. I can't announce anything yet, but really hoping that we can get another artist spotlight. Although it's going to be hard to trump Arlene's work this week. But all our spotlights are good, aren't they? They're incredible, and everyone has their own thing that they're bringing. Just like you guys, you know, I love it. So we're going to check out your work next week. And yeah, if you enjoyed the stream, please like, please subscribe, and yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. I just want to mention a big thank you to my very first patron supporter, Happy JL. I've set this up. If you'd like to support the stream even further, please consider being a patron. I would be so grateful. I really hope you enjoyed it. I need to open the window and get a glass of water. I'm boiling up again. It's been great, and have a good week. Stay alert and keep drawing, and I'll see you next week. See you guys.
Tuesday night, work is done, can't go out, loo roll's gone, kettle's on, put your kettle on, pencils out, news is off, got take out, spend all night with good friends, best friends, life drawing till the end. Get your sketchbooks out, everybody's drawing, that's what it's about. Quarantine is boring, get your sketchbooks out, lock down life drawing. Ooh! Ow. Get your sketchbooks out, everybody's drawing, that's what it's about. It's what it's about. Quarantine is boring.
Quite boring.
Get your sketchbooks out.
I got my sketchbook out.
Lock down life drawing.